Hey there. Welcome back. Today, I am going to be sharing some of my spring favorites with you. And we are jumping right in here because the first thing I have to share with you is this gorgeous little clutch of wild violets from my yard, which are making a lovely little rustling, crinkly sound right now. And I literally just walked out into my yard a few minutes ago. It's quite early in the morning, and I picked these. I used scissors to clip them from the yard. They are growing wild all throughout a section of my yard and lawn right now. The section that Justin and I refer to as meadow yard, and it's the last part that we start mowing, so that we can let all the wild things grow for as long as possible. And I went out and I picked these violets for you. And I literally, ooh, there's a little fuzz on them as well. I literally was just, putting them into my hands and clutching onto them. And so I walked back into the house and came upstairs to the room where I record and sat down immediately to share them with you, because I didn't want to let go of them, or else they might fly anywhere. Like I said, I think I got a little bit of extra debris in there with them. But these have been absolutely my favorite plant this spring. I have always admired these cute little wild violets that grow in our yard and grow kind of everywhere around where I live. They are not picky. They will grow in rocky banks and driveways and all over the place. And I've always thought that they were pretty. But just this year, I have learned about the fact that they are edible and they are quite medicinal. And wild violets are known for being a sort of a tonic herb, a tonic plant for the heart and for grief. And they have been used traditionally to help people when they're healing from a broken heart or a loss or some other kind of difficult situation. And since you all know that I've been on quite a journey this spring with my mental health and my husband's mental health, these little flowers have been medicine for my soul. I have gone out and walked among them in my yard. I have sat and written in my journal and talked to them. Yes, I talk to flowers, I really do. And I believe that they talk back when I am journaling and connecting with plants. I really do believe that they give me messages, and that the things that come out in my journal when I'm sitting with plants are messages of healing from the plants. And these are just so beautiful. You can see there are purple ones, and then there are also white ones. See which ones might want to be the star of the show. There's a little purple one you can see the detail of. They're lovely stems. And then the white ones have these purple details on the petals. And they are just so beautiful. So, as I said, you can eat them. You can eat the flowers and the stems and the leaves. And of course, I always encourage you, when I talk about edible plants and flowers on this channel, not all plants and flowers are edible. There are some wild plants that are poisonous, so do know what you are dealing with. Be safe. But these little violets are pretty easy to identify. And I'm going to link to an article from one of my herb teachers that talks more about how to identify violets and their traditional medicinal uses and their history as a heart tonic, and also some of the recipes of things that you can make with them. And you can use the flowers and the stems and the leaves in salads. You can saute the leaves. The leaves are particularly known to be good for breast health. So one of the things that I made this year is I collected some flowers and leaves, and I have them steeping right now in some jojoba oil, and I'm going to use that as a breast oil. You know, it's good to massage the areas of your body where there are lymph nodes for people of all genders and body types and shapes. And so violet oil can be very good for circulating the lymph and using for self-care and self-health massage. So I just think that is very, very cool. So that is one of the things I have made. I also made some violet syrup, where you basically pour boiling water onto a mason jar full of flowers and let it steep overnight so that it makes a very strong violet tea. And then you heat that up lightly with some sugar, and basically it makes a beautiful purple simple syrup that you can then use. I've been making violet lattes where I heat up a little bit of oat milk and put a couple tablespoons of my violet syrup in it, and that is just a lovely, lovely, soothing and delicious beverage. I also have made some violet honey, where I just have the flowers steeping in some raw honey and stir that up every day, and you keep an eye on it to make sure that it doesn't mold or anything, but honey is incredibly preserving, so you can do that. And also, for the first time this year, I made a wild soda, where you basically combine, again, raw honey and water and the herb of your choice, in this case violets, and you let that sit out for a little while so that the wild yeasts can begin to ferment and bubble and create a homemade wild soda, like a soda pop. And I just think that that's incredible kitchen science. I had never heard of anything like that before. So again, this video is going to be full of fun links in the description. So I will link to more information about how to use violets and kitchen herbal medicine in general. Again, I want everyone to be safe and to have proper instructions before you start, you know, making any concoctions, because you want to make sure you're doing it in a safe and sustainable way. But this has just opened up a whole new world to me, and it's so symbolic to me because these flowers are something that have been growing in my yard for years, and I've always sort of, you know, in a sort of side glance way said, oh yeah, those are really pretty, you know, while I was focusing on my more cultivated flowers and gardens. And they're just this incredible, abundant resource of medicine and of soothing joy and peace that they have brought to me. And they're just so beautiful. Okay, I will loosen my grip on them a little bit now, so if any of them fall, that's okay. Now that I've finished rustling them, but I just wanted you to get to see them. I will bring them as close up to the camera as I can. I'm a little farther away today. And what I am going to do with this little bunch that I have gathered, I've already done this with a few little clusters of them, is I will bunch these together and put some string around them, hang them upside down so that they dry, and they will dry up, you know, very, very small and tiny. And then once they're dry, you can kind of crumble them and keep them in a jar and use them as sprinkles. So I've been saving violets and making little tiny batches of sprinkles, and when I have my birthday later in the month, I intend to bake myself something and put violet sprinkles on it. And again, just with everything I've been going through this spring, these have been quite a gift to me. So maybe this is a little bit of a serious note to start this video on, but I really, really wanted to share this with you because I think it's just miraculous, and I think they're so beautiful, and I wanted to share this beautiful, heart-healing, grief-soothing medicine of the violets with you. And one of the neat things about violets is that these flowers don't go to seed, so you can harvest as many of them as you want, and you're not in any way inhibiting the plant's growth. They form a second flower from their base plant later in the season, a little green flower that's kind of underneath, which is the one that goes to seed. So these flowers are really there solely for beauty, solely for their beautiful colors, and I don't know, I just think there's something really amazing about that. There's really something amazing about the fact that Mother Nature and God gave us these flowers solely for pleasure and enjoyment. So, let me see, I brought a little mason jar here that I could put them into when I'm finished, so, ooh, maybe I will. If they fall everywhere, that's fine. Put them down in here, and then I will gather them and rebundle them later. And as I said, they really are delicious. Little flower mukbang for you here. I hardly ever eat things on my channel. It's always a very special occasion when I do. But they taste sort of like peas, I think, like green peas, or maybe a tiny bit like cucumber-ish. They're very fresh. And so I've also just been every day taking a little walk in my yard and chomping on some of them, just, you know, I'm just like part deer or something like that these days. I'm like a little bunny chomping on my flowers. And that's just another thing, is that when they first came into bloom this year, and I knew I wanted to use some of them medicinally, you know, I harvested some, and, you know, as is our tendency, I was a little bit like, oh, I don't want to miss them. I need to hurry up and harvest them. They are so prolific. They just keep coming back. I could never harvest all of them. And I just think that's a wonderful symbolism, too, that there is this abundance all around us. And oftentimes we can't see it until we open our eyes and our hearts a little wider and realize how much abundance there truly is for us to receive. So there again are my beautiful little wild violets, and I will post some info about them below. So this is my first spring favorite for you. My second spring favorite are the final daffodils from my yard. I have been enjoying these since the very early spring. I have been harvesting them and bringing in little bouquets to enjoy. And they are so beautiful. These ones are double flowers. They're a very unique variety. these smaller double flowers on them, and I'll hold them up so you can smell them. They smell so beautiful and peppery and fragrant and gorgeous. And when I bring some into the house and put them in a vase in my kitchen, it just makes the whole house smell amazing. Such beautiful aromatherapy. And these are literally the very last ones that were in bloom, and they were still going this morning. And so that's why I said, okay, I have to do my spring favorites video this morning, because I wanted you to get to see them. The beautiful daffodils. And I have a short on my channel with some more of my daffodils, and then my garden tour video I did, the first garden tour of the spring, so that you can see more flowers if you want. But that is certainly one of my favorite things of spring, is reconnecting with the beautiful flowering living things in my yard. So let me see if I can put these behind us here so that you can continue to enjoy them throughout the video. And I'm going to continue on now in the category of plants and living things, something that grows in the garden, because something that is another one of my favorite things that only comes around fresh and locally in the spring, are you ready for this? Is asparagus. Yes, I just happen to have a bunch of asparagus here with me, here in my studio. You never know what I will bring into ASMR land. I was curious about asparagus sounds here. But where I live in the Northeast United States, I live in an area that is known for growing asparagus. And there are a lot of local farms around where I live that specialize in asparagus. And so it's always a big deal when the asparagus shows up at farm stands and at the co-op and various places this time of year. And the other day was the first time that we saw it. So we got 2 bunches, and we had one for dinner night before last. And I'm going to cook this one later today. But I wanted to show it to you first. So I'm going to take off these rubber bands so that we can have the full asparagus-y experience. And you can see they're beautiful, cool, crinkly tops. They might be a little squeaky. I hope that sound is not too disturbing. You know what? I'm going to take just a few of them here. Don't you all love the things that I experiment with on my channel? I am just not afraid to bring anything into the realm of ASMR. So here's the asparagus. I will move it back and forth for you a little bit. You can see the asparagus. And I thought that it would be cool if I snapped and prepped this asparagus here as part of the video. So I brought, this is so experimental, we'll see. I usually do kitchen things in my kitchen for ASMR, not up here, but we'll see. So I brought this metal bowl, which has a lovely sound on its own and sounds a little bit like a singing bowl. So I am going to hold this bowl, and this is something you may or may not know about asparagus, is that asparagus give this one little asparagus. I don't think that's what a single asparagus is called, but I like the idea of that word. They have a sort of natural snapping point. So obviously this part down here on the bottom is pretty rough, and you don't really want to eat that part because you'd be chewing on it for a million years. So when you are prepping asparagus, of course you can slice it, but I was always taught that the proper way to do it is to hold it and to just snap it. And it will have a natural snapping point. And then this is the sort of fibrous, woody part that I put in the compost. And then this is the part that's nice and tender that you roast or you know, steam or whatever you like to do. I particularly like to roast my asparagus in olive oil and spices. And then these are the parts that you make, that you cook with. So I just thought it would be fun if we hung out together for a little bit while I was talking about my favorites and snapped this asparagus. So I hope the snapping is a nice sound, and I thought I would drop it into the bowl. You actually can't really hear that. Maybe I'll try moving it over here a little bit. And this asparagus is it is dirty because I haven't washed it yet. I thought I would do that after I had prepped it, and now I realize I'm getting dirt all over my pants. So this is true garden ASMR here. I'm just putting the stems over to the side, and I will clean those up. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this reminds me, I have a video on my channel from last summer where I made a video of snapping peas, or excuse me, shelling peas. You kind of snap green beans, you shell peas. And I love the sounds of shelling peas. We've got the asparagus stems in the bowl here. And so I made a video of shelling peas last year, so I will link to that. And I realized I've been making videos for quite a long time now. I have over 200 videos, and a lot of you are pretty new to my channel. I think I'm going to start posting links to some of my older videos, like maybe once a week, on the community tab, so that some of you who are newer to the channel can see some of my personal favorite videos that I've made, and go back and enjoy those. You can see how asparagus has these little sort of scaly scales on there. It's just such a unique shape, and asparagus is, you know, not the easiest vegetable to grow. It doesn't produce anything you can eat until the second season. It's a biennial, and there are certain ways you have to take care of it. And I know in Europe it's often grown in a way where they keep mounding the soil up around it as it grows, so it doesn't get as much sun, and so it turns out white because the chlorophyll never really develops. And so white asparagus is quite a delicacy in some places. So if any of you know more about that, please share that. I think that's neat, something that I've read about. And Justin once had that when he was traveling in Germany years ago for work. He was able to have some of that unique white asparagus. So I think this is my final one. So we'll do one more snap. And then we have this lovely bowl of fresh asparagus spears. It smells really good. It smells very fresh and verdant. Maybe I'll just, brush you a little bit. Brush you with the asparagus. I did a video last summer of doing your makeup with flowers. Maybe I should do one of doing your makeup with vegetables. But these are my beautiful asparagus spears, which are truly one of my favorite items of spring. Asparagus. So I will put my asparagus down to the side there, and yeah, my hands aren't too dirty, you know. Okay, true confessions, I'm wearing just a pair of black sweatpants right now, so I'm going to brush my hands off on them and give you those nice fabric sounds, which actually brings me to my next spring favorite, speaking of apparel, which is this lovely orange shirt I have on, which you all helped me to select and decide to keep from my first Stitch Fix box, which I did an unboxing of. So I will link to that as well. Again, this is going to be a link-tastic description box this time. And I really am loving this top. I love the little buttons on it. I love the little buttons. I don't know how much sound I can actually make with it, but I really love this top, and so I wanted to include Stitch Fix as one of my spring favorites because I really have been pleasantly surprised. I was very pleasantly surprised with the things that I got in my first Stitch Fix box, and I actually have another Stitch Fix box coming that will be arriving in a few days, so I plan to do a video of that for you as well. And so I just wanted to mention that because I do not like shopping at all for clothes, particularly, and so it's really brightened up my spring to be able to get some new fun clothes without having to go out and go shopping and go to a lot of mental effort to try to find them. And I've really been enjoying Stitch Fix's website, where you can go and, you know, give more information about what kind of clothes you like, and every, you know, time you go on there, they'll give you these fun little, it's almost like a little game where you can take a little mini quiz and it'll pop up different things and say, would you wear this? And you can give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and that helps them continue to hone in on what kind of clothing they should send you. And again, like, basically everything in this Spring Favorites video is focused on really simple, easy, low effort self-care and enjoyable things that I've been trying to do for myself this spring, since I haven't had a lot of energy and, you know, I've been going through some tough things. I've just been focusing on things that can give me a little boost of joy without a lot of energy expenditure. You can also hear birds perhaps outside my window. I do have the window closed because of other activity going on in my neighborhood, but you can maybe hear the birds. So I am going to include in the description as well my Stitch Fix referral code. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but once you have an account with them, they do give you a referral code. So if any of you are interested in trying Stitch Fix, you could use my code and you get $25 off your first fix, which basically means you get the styling fee for free, and then you get $25 towards whatever you would want to buy from that first box. And then I get a credit as well for some free stuff. I think I get $25 as well if someone uses my code. So obviously no pressure at all, but I just thought that would be fun. Since I have it, then I might as well share it. So one of my spring favorites is this lovely flowery orange top, and I've been wearing these flowery earrings a lot this spring that go very well with the top. These were a gift from my mother-in-law at some point, maybe a couple Christmases ago. And so, again, I've just been trying to be bringing colorful, fun, light things into my day-to-day whenever I can. So, okay, those were sort of the most activity intensive items that I had, snapping the asparagus and showing you the violets. I do have a list here because I always have a list, and I got some asparagus dust on my list, so I will brush that off into my asparagus bowl. And the next things, most of the other things I wanted to talk about in this video are, I wanted to talk about some YouTube channels and things on YouTube that I've been enjoying this spring. So I don't have as many props for this part, so I'm just going to ramble to you a bit, and I will tap on my notebook a little bit as I'm doing this. I haven't talked in a while on this channel about my favorite ASMR channels. So, I mean, I love to listen to new and different channels all the time. I'm always experimenting and listening to new people and, you know, seeing what comes up in my feed that looks interesting. But I do have some go-to people that I just go back to again and again because I know their videos will always soothe me and will always make me feel better. And especially in these challenging times, I have been relying on some of these favorites. So I just wanted to share with you my current top 5 ASMR channels, and you probably know most of these channels or all of them, but just in case there's somebody here that you have not yet discovered, I wanted to share the love with them and with you. So on my top 5 ASMR channel list, I have skyeASMR, who is just so incredibly lovely and such a soothing, she has such a soothing presence. She's such a kind and uplifting person, and I love her videos. She has a lot of different variety of videos. She does a lot of classic triggers. She also does fun role plays where there are like multiple role plays in one video. Those are really neat. My favorite from her are probably her negative energy removal videos, where she removes and destroys your negative energy, and it's so cute and encouraging the way she pounds your energy, your negative energy, and just gets rid of it and eradicates it for you. And she's just such a sweet and kind person. I love her manner. I love, you know, she obviously has a real love of ASMR and a real devotion to her subscribers, and her videos always make me really happy. So thank you, Sky, and thank you for your encouragement of my videos. It always means so much to me. When you comment, she has commented on my videos, and she's mentioned me in a couple of her videos, which just makes me all giddy and starstruck, and so I just really appreciate her and everything that she puts into her videos. And I also have to say, when I first discovered her and I first saw like the thumbnails of her videos, I was like, is she even a real person, or is she like an elf? Because she's just so pretty, and she has this very, I don't know, just this very unique look. She looks to me like an elf from Lord of the Rings, like this very Tolkien kind of like style, and she's just lovely, and she uses this sort of like purpley blue ethereal kind of lighting in a lot of her videos. And so at first I was like, oh my goodness, who is this magical person? Who is this magical person that is creating ASMR for me? So thank you, skyeASMR. Please check her out if you don't know her. My second ASMR channel and artist on my list is ComfortingSoundsASMR. She is just wonderful. Her voice, again, is so soothing and will just like take your nervous system down like 4 notches the second you hear it. My favorite videos of hers are her public ASMR videos where she'll go out like into a bookstore or the library and do ASMR. She has done videos, she does wonderful air tracing, and she's done videos where she has gone out and air traced like Christmas lights in her neighborhood or Halloween decorations or just things in nature, and it's just so relaxing and cool. And I also really love her shorts. I'm not much of a person to watch ASMR shorts, but I think that hers are so fun and creative. And she also has wonderful nails. I mean, you know me. I'm not a fancy fingernail person myself, but I can certainly appreciate it in others. And she does her own nails and does this amazing nail art and different colors and things. And she has videos of her doing her nails, which I find very relaxing, and I like live vicariously through her nail doing, through her manicures, since that's not something that I am very skilled at myself. So if you don't know Comforting Sounds, check her out. And the next person on my list is AbbyASMR. She is pretty well known, so you probably know her. But again, she just has an incredibly comforting manner. There's just something very grounding about her presence that I enjoy very much. And I particularly like her, she does these point of view videos where it's as if you're laying, you know, on a table or a bed and she's giving you a massage or a Reiki treatment. And I just find those videos to be super, super soothing. And when I was going through, you know, the roughest times these last couple of months when Justin was in the hospital, I would watch those point of view videos of hers just over and over and over and over again. I would just sort of lay on my side on the bed with my laptop propped up and watch those videos, and that personal attention from her was just so soothing to me. She does a lot of wonderful personal attention, and if you like light triggers, she is like the master of using lights in her videos. That's not something that I'm generally into, but I love the way she does it. So thank you, AbbyASMR. Number 4 on my list is another classic ASMR artist that I think everyone knows and loves, and that is Goodnight Moon. She has been around and doing ASMR for quite a while, and she just recently reached 1 million subscribers, which I think is incredible because she certainly deserves all the ASMR cred and success in the world, because she is a brilliant artist. And what I love about her, I mean, she just has such a soothing, calming nature to begin with, but what I love about her is that she has videos on her channel that are super simple, classic triggers, tapping on things, you know, exploring sounds, sort of like old school ASMR. And then she also does these incredibly elaborate role plays where she sets up beautiful backdrops and she does costuming and makeup and hair on herself that are just incredible. She does these 1920s themed ones which are amazing to watch. She has a whole sort of universe that she's created, a sort of fantasy universe with all these different characters. She has a wonderful personal assistant character that delivers amazingly cute and soothing and sort of comical personal attention to you. She has her Very Strange series, which is another amazing character. And I mean, she's just an incredible actress, and I just can't get over, I mean, again and again, the amount of skill that she brings to what she does and the way she just immerses, you know, she is immersed in the character and she immerses you in it. I've heard people sometimes refer to some ASMR as first-person cinema, and I think that is exactly what she does. It makes you feel like you're in a movie with her. So amazing. So I just love her, and her channel is another place I can go when when I want to get out of my head and immerse myself in a different world and pretend I'm a different person for a day. You know, the celebrity personal assistant ones are great because you kind of get to pretend that you're a celebrity for the day and that you have someone who's taking care of everything for you. And so I just really appreciate her. And, you know, she's someone who obviously does it for the love of the craft. I mean, she obviously is very, very passionate about making ASMR. You would have to be to go to all the detail, you know, and all the work that she does to make her videos. So I just really appreciate that. So a big thank you to Goodnight Moon for all of her wonderful creations. And then the last person on my list, I cannot talk about favorite ASMR artists without talking about PARISASMR. He is the first ASMR creator I ever listened to. It's probably been 8 or 9 years ago now that I discovered him. And he is in Paris. He is French, and a lot of his videos these days are in French. He has some older videos in English and some also in German. But of course it can be very relaxing to listen to ASMR in languages that you don't understand, because that can have its own tingly effect, as we all know. So he is just one of my all-time favorites, and he's another person that the second I turn on one of his videos, my nervous system just, his voice, he's got, I don't know any other way to say it, he's got a soothing face. I mean, he is quite handsome, but it's more than that. There's just something very calming about his eyes and his face. And again, I've been watching him for so many years. There is a caring friend roleplay that he has from 7 years ago that used to soothe me so much back in the day when I was in the throes of a very stressful work time. And I still go back and watch that video. And so PARISASMR, you are just one of my all-time favorites. You sort of introduced me to this genre. You made me know that ASMR was a thing, that this feeling that I had experienced throughout my life, this tingly feeling that I had experienced in response to people's whispers and personal attention. You're the one that helped me know that that was actually a thing, and led me to this beautiful world of ASMR, which eventually led me to making this channel, and I'm very thankful for that. So thank you, PARISASMR, Goodnight Moon, AbbyASMR, ComfortingSoundsASMR, and skyeASMR for soothing me and relaxing me and boosting my confidence and just making me feel good over and over and over and over again. Okay, friends, I think that I am making a spur-of-the-moment decision right now because I am looking at my list of favorites here, which is on this page and then also goes over into a little bit on a second page. And I realize that I think I've been going for almost an hour already. So I think I am going to split this video into 2 parts because I have a list of 5 other YouTube channels that are not ASMR channels that I want to share with you. And I have some music YouTube channels that I want to talk to you about. And then I also have a few other sort of like personal care, mental health, favorite mantras, favorite relaxation tool type things I want to talk to you about, and I don't want to rush through those. I really don't. I want to take my time. So, I think I am going to wrap up this part 1 with just one more thing, because again, I wanted to spend plenty of time on the asparagus. I'm going to put my notebook back down. I wanted to spend plenty of time with the asparagus, and I really wanted to tell you all about my violets. And again, I didn't want to, I just don't like to rush. I really like to take my time and really express to you my thoughts about things. And I include these things in my videos because I really want to share them with you. They're really on my heart. And I just realized I was starting to get the feeling that maybe I should pick up the pace a little bit so I could get through these things more quickly, but I don't think I want to do that. So instead, I will put my asparagus down. I will pick up one more item so that I can give you a bit of tappity tapping and a bit of jar sounds. This was one of the few physical items / products that I had gathered for this. And this is my Rose Rejuvenating Face Cream from the brand Calia, C-A-L-I-A. I use their shampoo and conditioner. They are a Canadian brand. I use their rosemary shampoo and conditioner, which smells amazing, and I love it so much, and it helps me to manage my thick and tangly hair. And this is their Rose Face Cream, which smells like heaven. It smells like rose petals, and every time I put this on, Justin comes up to me and starts nuzzling up to me and sniffing my face. He calls it my rosy face when I put this on. So you can have a whiff of that. And actually I'll take a tiny bit on my fingers here and give you a little under your eyes and on the sides of your face there, so that you can experience it and let you see it there. And I love using this face cream, and I hadn't had any of it in a while. I had run out a few months ago, and I decided to get some more this spring because it really encourages me to do my evening self-care, to do my evening skincare. Because when I am struggling with low energy and I'm kind of, trying to fight off depression and anxious feelings, for me, that's one of the first things to go, is the self-care. I don't want to do the simplest things. I always brush my teeth, but sometimes I just don't want to wash my face, especially if I haven't worn makeup, and these days I basically only put on makeup when I'm recording a video. But I know that it's important for me. It's important for the health of my skin. And more than that, I think it's just important psychologically for me to wash my face at night and take that little moment for my self-care. And so because I love the smell and the feel of this face cream so much, that motivates me to wash my face. So if I'm getting ready to go to bed and I'm just like, ugh, I don't even care, I'm just going to collapse, it will make me take that 5 minutes to wash my face and then put this cream on my face, and then I go to bed feeling more nourished and more taken care of, and I have this lovely aromatherapy to help me sleep, and it's just a really lovely experience. So I wanted to share this and to encourage all of you to find, some sort of self-care product or something that can be part of your evening routine that soothes your senses and makes you feel good because you deserve it. And this rose rejuvenating cream, I'll show it to you more close up there, and I'll put a link to Calia's website. They also sell essential oils and a lot of other cool, nice self-care products. This is something that I have really been enjoying this spring and is helping me to take care of myself. So, this has been part 1 of my spring favorites. I've never done this in 2 parts before. I did a fall favorites and a winter favorites, and I managed to fit them all into one video. But again, I do not want to rush because you deserve to have the full experience. I do not want to rush you, and I do not want to rush myself. That is not what ASMR is about. It is about slowing down and taking our time. And I realized I kept glancing over at the clock to see, how long I was taking in this video, and I don't want that to be part of our energy. When we are hanging out together, I want time to just stand still. I want you to have a true break and a true time out. This lid sounds very cool. Kind of got a texture to it. And I want that for myself as well. So I will include links in the description for all the things we talked about today, the ASMR channels that I mentioned, and this face cream, and my Stitch Fix code, and some more information on violets, and kitchen medicine, and bioregional herbalism, which is basically, getting to know the plants that are growing wild in your area, and getting to know which ones are safe and useful, and how to use them, which I think is just a wonderful thing to become educated about, and it has brought a lot of enrichment to my life. And then we will pick this back up, and I will record a second video where I will tell you about some of my favorite additional YouTube channels beyond ASMR, and some of the music that I've been listening to, and some of the self-care and mental health strategies that I've been using to take care of myself and keep myself feeling good. And I'll probably think of some other things to add in, and maybe this will become a never-ending favorites video, and I'll just keep sharing spring favorites with you until it's time for summer favorites. See, that's why I can only do one of these a season. If I tried to do one every month or something like that, that's just all I would ever do. I can hear the crow outside my window. That crow is one of my favorite things too. Some people don't like crows, but I really like crows and blackbirds. I think they are a lovely symbol, and so for me, when I hear them, I don't know, it's like a little nod from the universe that I'm being looked out for and taken care of. So, I hope you enjoyed this first half of my spring favorites, and I hope that you will stay tuned for part 2. Thank you for spending time with me. I love hanging out with you. Thank you for being here with me through all my rambly rambles. Take good care of yourself. Rest well. And I'll see you again soon. Happy spring.